Hi guys, welcome back to my Travel Girl Going Global channel here on YouTube. I've got a little friend on my lap. Hello baby girl. You're not into travelling though, are you? No. So we're here today to talk to you all about how to do the Maldives on a budget. Are you comfy like that? No. Like I'm dressed for the Maldives, but it is still January here in the UK and the rest of the world as well. So it's January and in the UK it is cold, but it's a sunny day, so I thought, do you know what, I'm getting those Maldives inspos. I'm also seeing the Maldives all over Instagram right now. So I'm doing my video surrounded by palm trees to at least give you some tropical vibes. And also this picture looks a little bit like the sea. So we've got ocean, we've got palm trees, we're basically in the Maldives. Okay, so specifically this video is how to do the Maldives on a budget, which might sound crazy because the Maldives is not a cheap place at all, but I do have some tips on how we went and how we made it a lot cheaper than it potentially could have been. Sorry if this little bit of palmy palm is getting in the way. I'm like, ooh, move it around a bit. Is that even more annoying? There we go. Okay, so Will and I went to the Maldives. It was our first stop on our trip around Asia. So we were actually due to be going to Bali, but it was at the time where the volcano was erupting. I think everything was fine in the end, but I didn't want to take the risk. So we rang up Emirates and they said, yeah, just change your flights to go somewhere else, like wherever you want to go. And the Maldives was only £8 more expensive than our flights to Bali. So we just paid £8 and went to the Maldives instead. So we're obviously not talking a 200 quid all-inclusive holiday in Maldives or anything, but we are talking about having the ultimate tropical vibes for not as expensive. I basically just got the top tips to get your budget down for this trip. Honestly, just a little quick roundup of the Maldives. I don't think I have seen any beaches more beautiful before than the Maldives, which is probably quite obvious from all of the numerous beautiful photos all over Instagram of the Maldives. The whitest sands, the most turquoise waters, and because the islands are solely for hotel guests, the beaches aren't rammed, and I think that's where the Maldives is just paradise in the fact that the crowds aren't there. Okay, first point on how to save money or how to go to the Maldives on a budget: seasonal flight prices. So we went in October, which is just at the end of their monsoon season. And because it was just at the end, the flights were cheaper than they would have been from November to March, which is probably the best time weather-wise to go, but I reread my blog post on this, which I will link down below. We had 6 out of 9 days of sun. It was definitely worth going then to save that extra bit of money on the flights. It wasn't even a bit, I think it's quite a lot. 2, local versus resort islands. There are 2 types of islands in the Maldives. There are resort islands, as I said earlier, where the hotel literally owns the island, so it's one hotel to an island. So there are 1,200 Maldivian islands in total. There are over 100 resort islands, so you do have a lot to pick from if you would like to go to a resort island. Around 200 are inhabited by the Maldivians. I hope that that's how you say it, Maldivians. I'm pretty sure it is. So if you really want to go to the Maldives as cheap as physically possible, then you should go to one that is inhabited by the locals. You can literally do like an Airbnb or a guest house on booking.com. I remember a few years ago finding one for like £160 for the week. It can be really cheap. However, you won't necessarily get the typical Maldives luxury kind of area. Plus, the local laws do apply to the local islands. You obviously have to respect their local laws. This includes no alcohol permitted. It also includes that you must cover your thighs and your shoulders except if you're on a bikini beach. So, to give us the relaxing stay that we kind of had in our heads, we did opt for a resort island. It could have been a lot cheaper to go to the local islands, but we wanted just the freedom. Will loves beer too much. I think at some point, like, I probably would like to go to the local islands. From who we met to Maldivian, they just seem so lovely, so it would be quite nice at some point to stay on a local island and get more involved in their culture. Tip number 3 is island location. I had to dig deep to find this tip. Sorry, I think there's a bus outside, which is what is screaming. We're definitely not in the Maldives right now. We've got London buses. Just everything's happening. Malé is the main airport in the Maldives. That is where like the international flights fly into. It's the capital city. But to get to the other islands, you have to go via the hotel's transfer. The transfer is what makes such a difference to prices. So if you have an island which is really far away from Malé and you need to get a little boat to this island to then catch a seaplane to get to the final destination, that is obviously going to be a lot more expensive than if you go to an island much nearer to Malé. We stayed on an island very close to Malé, so that we didn't even need to catch a seaplane. We just caught a speedboat there, which makes a massive difference catching a speedboat versus a seaplane. So the seaplanes can add like over $300 per person just for that transfer. Our island was a 40-minute speedboat ride, and the speedboat was really fun in itself. This is also a tip for people that don't necessarily want to go, like they're a bit freaked out by the seaplane, because I've never been on one before, and for me I think I'd probably be a little bit claustrophobic in them. So this is a great tip. Find an island nearer Malé so that you only need to catch a boat. Looking at costs, ours was only $160 round trip for the transfers, as opposed to double that if we were to catch a plane. To get to the local island, so this is going back to the previous point, you can hop on a ferry and it will cost you less than $10 for your transfer from Malé to your chosen island. There are no ferries on a Friday, so do plan around that. 4, you can get your cost down massively if you don't stay in the huts on stilts in the sea. If you stay actually inland and your room is on the island as opposed to in the sea, that can also bring your cost down. Our hotel room was on the island. It was nothing special, our hotel room, but we opened our back door and the most magical view awaited us. Don't forget to pack a snorkel. So, the Maldives has the most fantastic, amazing sea life. It's just a rainbow underwater. There are every kind of fish that I have ever seen. There's even mini reef sharks, and I think at first we were like, oh my goodness, there's a baby shark there, that is so scary. But actually they're just reef sharks. They're very safe, I think. They were to us, even though I probably did get a bit freaked out if one came too close. But you have to snorkel. You have to go underwater and see the fish. I brought my unicorn with me. Yes, it was quite a big commitment to take with me all around Asia. But I did it, and it was fun, and I'm glad I did, because I don't love like being able to touch fish or anything. I don't know what it is about it. So I lay on my floaty and snorkeled, bobbed around, had the best time ever, no fears, and saw everything. It was amazing. But back to the point, number 5 is that you have to bring your own snorkel because they charge a lot, like $40 to $50 a day just for a plain Jane snorkeling set that we could have grabbed at home for like a $5 or something, or a tenner. Before you go to the Maldives, bring everything that you think that you'll need because you don't want to be buying anything from their resort shops. Tip number 6, so this isn't about necessarily saving money, it's just a heads up. Everything that we were shown on the menu, like food or experiences or day trips or anything like that, it was excluding a 10% compulsory service charge and 12% local tax. So you see a price and then it's plus, and that's the actual price you are paying. Do be wary of those plus charges and don't get caught out by them. Okay, so my final point on doing the Maldives on a budget is definitely opt for a prepaid meal plan, like half board, full board, or all inclusive or whatever, because as I said before in a previous point, there is no other competition. They are the only place you can go to. So if on booking.com it says you want to go South Catering, you're like, bargain, you're going to have to buy the food there anyway. More often than not, it is cheaper if you're paying for the package like whilst you're booking the holiday than paying when you get into resort. And even more, paying as you go will just be an absolute fortune. So just take that step when you are booking to definitely go for the meal plan if there is. So there you go, that's my top tips to do the Maldives on a budget. Please let me know in the comments down below if you took any of these tips to book your Maldives holiday. I will also link my blog post down below so that if you didn't get a chance to write all these points down, you can go and check it out there. If you are going to the Maldives, have the best time, guys. Honestly, the Maldives is one of the most beautiful places in this whole world. So enjoy, have an amazing time. Honestly, it's going to be an experience that you will truly remember forever. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!